Hey guys, welcome back to Sip, Savor, and Celebrate. We got a special treat. But I'm Chris.
And I'm Devin.
And we've got Ernesto. Ernesto
Okay.
is with, and I know I apologize, and I'm going to tell you right now, because I know you stumbled upon our video, and that's how we connected.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry that I said it wrong. Will you please correct me
Well,
how
you
to
have to
say
say it
this?
first. I'll have you say it first, and then I'll
Okay,
and then I'll
I
say it
I'm
after.
only going to say the first part. Xolo.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can't
So it's
say it.
Xolo is it's good enough. That's
Okay.
kind of the reason we did the color scheme on the first four letters.
Okay.
Just to have people just say Xolo, just because it's a lot easier. But the full name is Xolo it's Squinkle,
Yeah, what
and
you
it's
said.
a dog breed. Yeah.
We have an amazing Mexican fusion restaurant south of us in Flint,
Hmm.
and it's called Xolo.
Okay.
And then they've got a hidden bar in the back. So it's a speakeasy that you
Okay.
literally go to the bookcase and it says push here, and you push a button and then the bookcase opens up to a whole bar, and it's really, really super cool. But
Wow.
that's the name of the bar, the restaurant.
We'll definitely have to get in there. I'll talk to my distributor and see when
Yes,
we
it
get
is
Xolo,
super,
Xolo
super,
into
super
Xolo.
cool because they need some help getting some good tequilas in there. They oh, I don't even want to say it, but they have the Lobo and well, actually they did have one. They had Don Fulano and they did have El Tesoro there. So they had those two as far as good ones, and the rest of them are all the additive packed garbage that
Yeah.
nobody wants. But we're here to talk about you. We're here to talk about you.
Yes, sir.
Um, and I know we've already done the review of it, but I'm really interested in you. What
Okay.
brought your passion to start Xolo? I mean, what was it?
So it's kind of long story short. My dad has always been in the industry.
Okay.
Uh, he's an importer distributor here in California. So I kind of grew up. He started the business in 2000. So I would go to tastings with him, help him set up, give little shots to people. And I was 13, 14, talking to people about tequila like I had any idea what I was doing. And I just kind of grew up with it. And when I graduated high school, I went to college. Um, and I basically told my dad, you know what, I don't want to work with you. I'm gonna be
We all do.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I was lucky enough to stumble into the education field. So I worked with special needs
No
children
way.
for 10 years, almost exactly 10 years. And when COVID happened, I was at home doing the Zooms with the kids and stuff, and it just wasn't the same. And I did have a little extra time. So in the back of my mind, I always had, it'd be super cool to have my own tequila brand, and have my dad work for me as my importer distributor.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, so I I picked the name, and I was lucky enough to find Xolo and be available. And then I quit my job and I put $40,000 of my life savings into the brand, and now we're here.
Well, that's awesome. Kudos to you. So you just said something that kind of sparked my interest because we did talk about how to say the darn thing, but where is the name coming from? What
It, it's
led you
uh
to?
it's Mexican hairless. So it's indigenous dog to Mexico. It comes in three sizes. There's like a little like
Oh,
toy
you're
one
talking about the dog. The dog.
and the Xolo.
Oh, that's a dog. I didn't.
The
Sorry.
dog.
See, you're educating me.
It's called the Mexican hairless, or the Xolo. It's Squinkle. So it's Mexico has three dogs, right? The Chihuahua, which is like everybody knows. The Xolo, which is the one that's on the bottle, and then a Calupo, which is like a wolf dog.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
the there. But the Xolo is one of the oldest dog breeds in the world without human interference. At one point, they were almost extinct in the early like 40s and 50s, and then humans had to get involved, and they brought the breed back to life, if you will.
Now, I know that you have a passion for the dogs, and that's kind of why you brought the name into it. But I also heard that there was a story behind, like you're actually helping raise money and awareness, or how? I'm not wasn't maybe I'm listening to somebody tell a story from the lunch line where it starts here and it ends up here. You know, it's never the same. But
The story goes, the reason is that the name, the Xolo, the indigenous community in Mexico believe that they were guardians in life and in the afterlife, and they would guide you through the 9 levels of Mictlan, which is like the underworld. But they would only guide you if you were good to dogs.
oh no way.
So if you weren't good to dogs, then they would leave you in limbo for all eternity.
Well, that sounds very close to the Egyptian style of
Right,
of
right, right. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. And but under that same little umbrella of like be good to dogs and the namesake, we decided from the very beginning, with our small lots, to $1 of every bottle goes to a dog charity nominated by people that drink Cholo. So you could go on the website and nominate a dog charity that's in your neighborhood or anywhere
Can
really.
you really? I didn't know that.
So if you go to drinkcholo.com and then
Okay.
the dog charity right there.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have because we are, both of our families are big dog families. I mean,
Yeah, I had to put mine away before I came.
I've got a nice little Pomsky. Well, he's kind of a hellion, but and then yours is a
Mine is a Shiba Inu. He definitely lives up to the breed.
yeah. It's kind of fun. Do you have a dog? I hope it's a Xolo.
I don't have a dog now. So I grew up with an Akita.
Okay.
Okay. Close
Bigger-
to the Shiba brand.
And then so that was my dog till I was 16. Then I had a boxer pit, and she passed away 2 years ago.
Okay.
And my girlfriend's dog, she had a basset hound, and he passed away about a month and a half ago. And it's
the ex
Those are
had
not
one.
really a loss to the world.
But I thought that dog was amazing. It just had the droopy face and I just loved it. Anyways, all right, so let's get back to the tequila. Tell me that, and I know all I did is I just literally read off of Tequila Matchmaker what it said. Tell me about the Blanco, how it's made, where the resources are coming from. Is it well water? Is it deep? Just turn the faucet on. Here's your water to
that'd be kind of cool.
how you cooking it, how you crushing it.
So
And
the
salute.
well, let's pour one out first, and then
Heck yeah.
I'll drink with you guys.
I do love that it's got such bright agave forward smell, and I just love that.
Hopefully it doesn't
Glass?
hop around.
I apologize.
I said, hopefully it doesn't taste like hop syrup this round.
Yeah, I know. It
I'm
was not
sorry.
me. It
How did
wasn't-
the bottle though? That's still what I get. I'm like, okay, we're still in the cough syrup realm.
Now,
But these have been sitting here breathing a minute.
correct. I did put this out last time. We just literally opened them up, as you saw on the video. We just literally opened them up, poured it in the glass. These have been sitting out for maybe 10 minutes now, breathing and getting.
No, I mean, no hard feelings. Everybody's palate's going to be a little different, especially after food and drinks and all that. It just changes. I do that all the time. I every time I eat something new, I'll grab a bottle and like, oh, let me see what it tastes with this spaghetti or this meatloaf or this.
A friend of ours told that same thing to us.
Like that. So the process, the tequila is made in Los Altos. The agave is from Los Altos. It's made in Capellanía, which is known 1545. And the process is kind of a marriage of traditional and new. So like the cooking is low pressure autoclaves for the newer lots. I don't know what lot you have, but lot 1, 2, and 3.
This is lot.
It'll have the year and then the next number after that.
Okay.
4. Lot 4.
Lot 4. Is that what
Okay.
you're saying?
That's what this one is. So 22 does.
This one's 1,000. So this is 22-1,000.
22. It should have a 22 dash 1. It has a 1000.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100. 1000 is what it says on the back of ours.
Might be lot 1.
Okay. But these
so-
are all handwritten. I like that. And I think I said that on the video.
Make it, hopefully people have good handwriting when we're doing. But so the cooking is
Lot 4 and lot 3. So we've got 1, 4, 3, 4.
1, 3, 4.
the cooking is in the newer lots is low pressure autoclave. In the early lots, it's 50-50 brick oven and autoclave. Hopefully we want to go back to just full autoclave. Full brick oven.
Okay.
There were some issues with the oven and the oven doors, and they're not very it wasn't like cooking the agave the right way. So
Well, all right, I'll be there next month. I'll get the
Hammer.
we'll get the hammer out. We'll get it going. I'm just kidding.
I'll be down there in November as well. So hit me up.
Oh,
maybe.
really? When I'm gonna be there from 8th through the 15th. I'll be there from the 8th through 15th.
I think I'll do
Specifically the 9th and the 10th. I'll be in Anarandas with
Okay.
Anna Maria.
Okay. I'll be there. I think I get there the 13th to the 17th.
Okay.
Well, just before I leave.
We'll touch base.
We'll have
There you
to
go.
for sure.
The pressing of the cooked agave is done in roller mill. We
Okay.
do four presses. And then the fermentation is open air fermentation. The yeast, the master distillers, it's two brothers, the Davalos, and what they do is every lot is gonna have the yeast from where they pick up the yeast from the fields that the agave is from,
Okay, I've heard of that.
and they make it themselves. And then by the time it's time to ferment, they throw it in there. But it is open air, and the distillery is surrounded by peach trees, orange trees, lemons. And it really does impact the flavor for me, anyways. It does.
I'm getting a lot of citrus today. I get a lot of citrus.
very. What are we picking up? He's all no.
I get orange peel. I literally like straight off the orange. That's what I'm getting. Besides agave.
Okay, how we doing?
No.
So it's still a bitter crop syrup.
Okay. Oh, I don't get that.
I mean, I don't even get agave out of it, which makes me sad. It is literally like Robitussin mixed with NyQuil. Like, here you go, and that's what.
Oh, that's a bummer because that's not at all what I get.
But that would be, or why you would be picking up those flavors. That's interesting.
He's also a strange duck. He doesn't like Fortaleza, so we kind of disown him a lot when it comes to that. I'm kidding.
Hey, there are a lot that I do endorse and recommend.
You do.
Fortaleza is just not one that
except for lot 150.
I think is amazing.
Except for lot 150.
True.
I think that's where, and maybe the orange peel to that, because I can see how, because that's what I'm getting. I'm getting like straight up orange peel, citrus forward, and the agaves is more on the back. Now on the nose, I'm getting cooked agave number 1. There's a slight
It's very
pepper on
alcohol and mineral forward.
Oh no, not at all for me. I'm not saying that just because you're on here, because it's the same thing I said last time as well.
I mean, again, I no hard feelings. Everybody's just gonna pick up different things. It's really part of the science, and part of the reason tequila, I think, comes in 4 styles. It lets people experience different ones, and they could gravitate to whatever they're gonna like.
Well, and I've said it 100 times. Most distillers get a 1 in 3 chance of winning a customer over. But for some reason, that Blanco does not hit anywhere near home for me.
It does taste a little different this time that I let it open up a little bit more. I like it still, and I started drinking more of it the other day. Well, actually, I got into the repo more the other day.
I mean, I will say it tastes different. Now it's just salty cough syrup. There is a brine to it. So we added some olive water to it. Great.
Interesting.
All right. Well, so let's go into the reposado. Tell
So
us about the aging and the barrels and
you have them backwards there. You have the añejo in the middle.
oh, did I do that backwards here? You are absolutely right. So switch these back around.
So the reposado is aged in a pipon barrel. So that's a big self-standing 5,000 liter barrel.
Right.
It is a neutral barrel because it's so much liquid that the wood really doesn't affect it. So what we do is we do basically like a burlap sack, French oak and American oak, freshly charred, and we
Okay.
steep.
Okay. It's kind of
So
like a big tea bag.
a big wood tea, yeah, if you will. And then so that's mostly where the flavors and the color is coming from that. Because if we were to leave it there without that, it would almost pick up like almost no color.
Is the papones, are they pine?
I
Today
saw American oak.
it is American oak. I don't know why I pick up a little bit of pine today.
I think that was my question last time. Was there pine to it?
Just picking up pine on the video.
Okay, yeah, I really do I pick up like a pine needle. It's pleasant. It's like Christmas to me. But
I think that was my same objection last time was I get pine and you're like, no, there's no pine in it at all. And I'm like, but there's pine.
today that's what I'm getting.
Oh no. Out of the bottle you get pine. But no, you get that beautiful French oak. That wonderful caramel and that wonderful cream.
American oak though, I thought.
He said it's a blend of French and American
My
in his
bad.
tea bag.
One is American oak, but
Is
in
it
the
American?
it's French and American.
Right.
Okay, so you're getting both. Okay.
So today that French is shining very brilliantly.
I like it because I do like the scent of the pine with it though.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
I,
Yeah.
it's,
So I'm tasting the new lot, so I only have lot 5 bottles here at home. But yeah, I mean, same process. You know, every lot's going to be a little different because the blanco is going to be a little different. But
right.
the process is the same, so it kind of does. It's
See, now that one is okay, but it's still very olive brine and very briny on the back. But the French seems to mute that just a little bit.
Today it's feeling a little more.
But I lack agave, and that I think is
you're
what
right.
makes me the saddest about this.
okay.
You've got lot 5, so it's going to be different than what we're tasting right now. It's like, well, here, you know,
Yeah.
taste. But it's very. Today I'm getting a little bit more of a pepper on the tongue, so it's kind of like that tingling you get when you have a little more of a. You're probably not getting what I'm saying. I mean,
I would call. I think it's more of an effervescent. I don't think it's the pepper. I think it's just a more of an effervescence to it.
Yeah, I mean that 46% alcohol too. I mean, it's the whole brand is very balanced with the alcohol, but it's still going to show up, you know, either at the front or the back end, or you know, it's still going to have that little kick.
first of all, I want to say, even though we say some of those things as well, I'm telling you, this is 10,000 times better than what most want. Well, okay, go away. I feel that it is 10 times better.
This is Chris saying everything is okay, like always, y'all. You know his review. Oh, it's okay. Check him out. Okay.
I like it. I do like it because it's different. I'm getting the pine. I'm getting it's still lasting on the palate to me. I'm getting more of a, and I do get the brine, and I like that. But that's the same thing I get on Fortaleza, as I get a nice olive brine mixed in. But not only am I getting the brine, I'm getting more mint and citrus, which I think is this resourced from the highlands as well? Is the agaves coming from farms of the
Highlands? So the agave is Highland agave that we're buying.
Do you get the same thing that what I think, like all tequilas that are resourced with agaves grown in the highlands? Do you feel like you get more mint and citrus from those ones versus the valleys?
For me, the Valley is definitely more mineral forward.
That's
Uh,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
And I'm wondering, am I the only person that's saying that, or
But
is
you
just
but you get more, I guess, balanced and robust flavors out of the valleys, because you got that to play on. The to me the highlands are just that kind of mint centralized, and
but I like that. I honestly like especially if I'm looking in more in the summer months. I want my in the summer months. I want my
you
tequila to
want
be
your
a little
mojito
bit.
all the time.
You know what? I can honestly say I haven't had much of a mixed drink in a long time.
Mhm.
I've been like ever since I started going into the more of the tequilas, and I do dabble in a couple of bourbons, as you can see as well. We got the E.H. Taylor, we got the Bookers and Blantons and all that good stuff. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm getting more into just drinking it neat.
Right.
I want to see, and I feel like I like it better as it is. If I, and then I don't want to say that if I have to put a mix into it that it's bad. No, I'm not saying that, because I mean, if you're going to make a meal, you want to use good quality ingredients, right?
Right. I mean, that's just from the base. If you're gonna make a good cocktail, you have to use good spirits.
Right. And I
Uh,
agree with that. And
and,
that's one of the Lou darn, well, not Lou Agave, but there's I'm losing my mind. Anyway, there's another YouTuber that I like to follow, and he actually said the same thing I did: is just use good ingredients for a mixed drink.
Well, so did Don Rico.
Oh yeah, Don Rico did that as well. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it myself, but I know nobody's going to ever agree on everything, but I do like this. It's just I like the pine mixed with the mint and the orange and the citrus. That's what I like about it.
But as I've said, especially for me, the agave goes away, and it goes away from the first one. So that is a letdown as someone who does enjoy tequila. Is I don't get the agave anywhere in this product.
And that's fair.
I
But
honestly, I haven't heard that from other people that are trying it. You're probably one of the few that don't pick up agave, which is fine. It's to each their own. Especially on the plata and the repo. In my opinion, in my untrained palate, there is a lot of agave in there. I just kind of wish we could try them together, so see if we could pick up if I could pick up what you're picking up.
Right.
right.
Vice
Might
versa.
be able to.
Well, yeah, I'll be there next month. Maybe we can sit down together. Maybe the new ones are different than what I'm tasting here.
Yeah. Well,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm going to agree that the agave is not number one.
Mhm.
I do get agave. I know you don't. I do get agave, the taste, but it's further down. On the nose, I get first thing is just hitting me with agave on this.
Yeah.
But then down the road, now on the taste, I get mint forward, mint and citrus forward, which I do like. That's my preference. I do like that. Well, let's talk.
Because I have given that review out to only one other tequila, and trust me, this is one that we have talked a few times, but they just came out with a new lot, which they have done amazing on that new lot. It gets away from the cough syrup. You get away from the kind of brininess, although it is all there. We did the review just last week.
He's talking about Lagrimas. Lagrimas.
Lágrima?
Lagrimas. Yeah, Lagrimas. They're out of 1123. So the same one as Don Fulano. You're talking about 1123. Cascoin. Sorry.
Good looking thing, yeah, in the front.
What's that?
Lágrimas, the one that has like the little space thing.
He'll go grab it. I have so many. I've got too much. Trust me, I'm in trouble at home because I probably have about 300 bottles of tequila at home.
That's bad.
It is very bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one. I've got the old and the new farm. So it's just, and it's what's crazy is that the agaves are resourced from literally farms that are next to each other.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah, but
I
one gets a little more morning sun than the other one does, or one has a little more slope or shade, and
right.
kind
And
of.
I enjoy the new farm better than the old farm, and for some reason, maybe it was just last weekend that because we just did the review of the old versus the new. The old last weekend did not. It had so much bitterness to it versus the new one. But rewind back into the early part of the summer when I reviewed the old farm, it was really, really good. So I don't know. It's hard to say, but I do like when they get a little bit more on the higher proof.
Mhm.
And I'm finding that I like the higher proof tequilas better. I just feel like I get more robust flavors.
You get the naturality of it. You know, it's not diluted.
Right.
You get, you know, what is really supposed to be, you know, tasted because it's pure.
Right. And you as a producer, I appreciate that yours is not like full on, you know, high proof, but it's not the 80%. You're above it.
Yeah,
You're
I'm at
slightly-
across the board. And kind of that was the goal. I didn't want to, when I started off, you know, with my idea of the brand, I didn't want anything lower than 45. So when I went to go look for distilleries, it was really interesting because everybody wants you to try their 40, right? No, try the 40. This is the house. This is the home brand or whatever. And I'm like, all right, but what do you have? You know, higher? And like, oh, well, we don't really make anything. I'm like, all right, well, let's try
I'm
your.
telling you what, right now it's fire. Like high proofs are on fire. Everybody's jumping on board. I mean, if you look at it, even what was it? Guy Fieri had to get Sammy Hagar on board with the Santafino,
Mhm.
and that came out. That is super. Now that is 100% mint on that one.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to the high proof, and I appreciate it. Me as a consumer, I appreciate that. I'm telling you right now. So let's talk about the.
This one is nothing but amazing. On the nose, you know, like a big caramel cream, and that's I guess where I struggle with this brand also is because you deliver on the nose. Every one of these delivers on the nose. Like I'm like, okay, great, you know, from the bottle, okay, you've got me. And then once you come to the palate, I'm like, we took a wrong turn somewhere, and I can't even tell you where, but we've gone to like the dump versus, you know, the beautiful agave field. You know, like you know, that's where the wrong turn is, and it's, you know, but like I said, this one is always so beautiful on the nose.
So tell me about tell us all.
See, this one,
It's not just me. We got thousands.
you know,
It was weird. Yesterday, I posted to tell you how funny YouTube is. Yesterday, I did an unboxing video of the bourbon I just happened to get, right? I got Blanton's and Booker's came in last night, but they got those new biodegradable peanuts, the packing peanuts, right? If you put them in your sink and then you spray them down with hot water, they dissolve. And they smell like, it's kind of cool, right? And they smell like Cheerios, which is weird. But I posted that 15-second video of me just like doing that. And it literally in an hour, I'm already at 1,600 views. Today, I was over 2,000 something views just because I'm spraying down these peanuts. I don't get it. Never know.
You never know what's gonna go viral or what's gonna hit. Like it's
So
just.
tell me about this. I apologize for that tangent. Tell me about your añejo.
A year and a half aged in American oak bourbon barrels.
So not the Papones like this is. This is actually in a barrel.
So just so that you're aware, Pipon can only make reposado.
Correct. That's what happened with the El Tecaleno Rare, which I love.
They left it on there for 6 years, so it's a 6-year reposado.
Yeah.
So the rest of them have to be in regular barrels. These are 220-liter bourbon barrels, and we don't rechar. So they're wet barrels, if you will, and then
Okay.
tequila in them.
Is it against a unwritten law or rule to ask what bourbon was this originally that you put it in?
I I can't afford that information.
Darn it, I was wondering. But
So
okay, so it's a used bourbon barrel that you left in for how many months again? 6.
eventually, I would like to be able to put on there, made in, whatever makers or Jack or whatever kind of.
Well,
bourbon.
that's what Ocho did. They've got that whole thing with the Widow Jane.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah, exactly.
You know.
Hopefully, hey, I'll be at that level where I can afford
Oh,
to.
come on, you got this, brother. You got this. Believe in it. I know you can.
One day, one day.
But that anejo is still
Oh,
my
it's
favorite. That was my favorite last time. You get the beautiful caramel, you get the cream. I'm actually getting like your citrus from the farm, so like a creamy caramely orange, like
I do agree, like a creamsicle almost, but not like
not that
not,
dramatic.
not that dramatic. But yeah, I do get cream
Or
and
like
caramel.
the light peach to it. You're getting from that.
Peach, but okay. Well, okay,
that is for sure captured right here, 100%.
like a peach cobbler.
All those fruit notes should be coming from the plata, and I know that it being an añejo is a different lot than the blanco that you have. So it does change, but I'd be interesting to figure out.
You didn't even leave me anything in here, Zarly. Sorry.
It'd be interesting
One sip.
if I go from the añejo lot and seeing if you pick up those same peach notes and grass notes, or yeah.
Like that one is still beautiful and full of flavor and like I said, out of your 3, that's the one that I would still recommend. So I'm still recommending your products, but that is where you win it.
So you just have expensive taste, I think.
Yeah, especially in Michigan. This one is $150. $150 for in Michigan.
It's so I do a little math just so people get an idea of like price. So like $150 for the liter, it means it's 112 if it were a 750.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you that.
Visualize the difference between a liter and a 750.
I'm glad you brought that up. I want to know what brought you like, hey, everybody's got 750. I want a liter. Like, rawr, look at me.
So for me, drinking is always an experience. It's always about sharing and about talking, and like, oh, you try it, now you try it, now you try it, and we're all sharing, talking, stories, singing, crying. It all leads to hugging, hating each other. All the truths come out.
Oh my God, I love you. No, yeah, I agree.
So for me, a 750 when I'm doesn't make it to the last 10 guys.
Right.
We're like pour, and then you need another bottle. You're like, all right, open up another bottle. So it just
okay, I follow you. I know what you're saying now.
It's for me, it's about sharing, and it's more to share, or more to keep if you don't if you don't
Yeah,
like
and
your.
that's true.
That's honestly the reason I did it. Just because I wanted to have more, and I figured it would be more of a value for people.
It honestly is.
But the big issue that I'm facing right now is kind of educating people how much more a liter is than a 750.
I think that's going to be an uphill battle for you, just because every single person, whether it's tequila or it's bourbon or it's mezcal, or well, actually, mezcal does a lot of little
rum, all are 750.
Yeah, they're all 750s. So that's going to be a challenge for you. But I like that it is a 1 liter. who else does 1 liter? Somebody else does 1 liters.
Mm,
I'm trying to think the one with the skull on the face. Not
this
Ka?
or Dos Artes.
Yeah. They do one. Yeah, they're doing a 1 liter as well.
A lot of the ceramic bottles are normally a liter. And I know that's just for sizing.
Except for the Scullies, but we don't want to talk about Scullies.
I mean,
Well-
I honestly never had Scully before. I don't know if it's good or bad.
They're full on additive bombs. And that's one thing, and you're additive free, correct? If I've read correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I didn't want to misspeak and like, oh crap, I'm in myself a little hole I gotta dig out of,
But they're cute, and that's what
That's
market
why I
them
bought it.
is because they're cute.
yeah.
You know, the biggest thing that I, as a connoisseur in whether it be tequila or bourbon or brandy or scotch, is I always want something different. You know, a lot of them always have the same review. You know, it's mint, it's sweet on the palate, a little alcohol. That's kind of your standard review. I've gotten to the point where I don't want standard. I want something different. Just a few weeks ago, what I do, I sent you on a journey to find a different bourbon,
Yeah,
because
bourbon.
bourbons are typically the same. Oh, they're caramels, they're creams, they're they're pepper. And as much as those are great, there's got to be someone doing a step up, something better. And that's where we found the Underground,
Yeah.
with that cherry, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that one's already half gone already.
And when we come to scotches, one of my favorite is the Macallan, because it is so bold and so full of flavor, and it's deep flavor.
Don't forget about the Quintalesa. The Quintalesa has been aged in a barrel that once housed coffee grounds.
And I tried that tequila for the first time, and I met the owner at the LA Tequila Fest.
Oh, did you? God, I'm so jealous. I wish I could have went there.
It was so good. I was like, I congratulated him. Like, dude, you're making some good stuff.
Right. Now, do me a favor, because I don't have it. I ran out of money. Tell me about the one that's missing. Yes, I see this all over TikTok. The XA. What a beautiful bottle.
Yeah, so
I absolutely love the frosted bottle. I think that is gorgeous.
So every bottle has this logo, but you just can't really.
Yeah, I see that embossed on the back of our bottles.
This one
the labels and these labels. Correct me if I'm wrong. These labels are made from repurposed agave. Is it correct? Agave paper.
Yeah, so it's, a lot of them you'll see like some fibers and stuff like that. So it is.
Yeah, because ours is peeling off.
Cool. Yeah.
So tell me about the XA. What are we missing? Because I don't have it.
Is a 5-year American oak bourbon barrel extra añejo.
Okay.
46% as well. A liter bottle as well. And for me, it's a good like pairing for a cigar. I rarely drink the extra añejo because I rarely like do a cigar, smoke, but it's something that I do enjoy from time to time. That is definitely a bottle I don't really go through a lot, as opposed to the 3 that you have. I drink those on the regular. The extra añejo I kind of save for those nights. But it's very, very good, very well, balanced extra añejo, because it's not going to be too oaky. As you could, I don't know if you could tell, but so it's the color is actually a little lighter than my. Let's see. How do
I was going to say it looks kind of like a El Tesoro / G4 añejo, extra añejo, because of the lightness. It's like a light straw color.
Yeah. So the colors, yeah. So it's the barrels that we use for the extra añejo. It's kind of like the Ocho. You know how they use spent barrels.
Yes.
Not like spent as much as the Ocho.
I think that El Tesoro and Don Fulano use extremely used barrels because they're so light.
We're not that extreme, but it is reused at least a few times before we use them for the extra añejo. And that's just again to maintain balance and the light flavored notes. And but the oak, the 5 years in the oak, even though it doesn't lend a lot of color, it's the flavor profile is still very, very nice and unique. And a lot of my whiskey friends are like, oh man, give me some of that extra añejo. So that's kind of what they gravitate to, like all my whiskey buddies.
And that's what I find as well, because around where we live, this is huge whiskey and bourbon community, because we don't have a lot. We actually, most of our bars do not have good tequila on their bar. They have all these crap things like Patron and Don Julio and garbage like that. Yeah, or Casamigos.
Hornitos.
Oh my God, Hornitos. Oh, man. I went to a tequila and taco festival,
Mm-hmm.
and the only tequila they had was Hornitos. You want to talk about one mad person? The tequila, the tacos were amazing, but I was like, this is garbage tequila. Why did I spend $75 just to get inside this place? And all you got is Hornitos? I was so mad. You have no idea.
That has to be rough.
It was super rough. Now, I got one more question, and I'm having a fun time. If you got to go, let me know. But I'm having a great time, and I love the conversation. So help me out and explain to the audience as well. Tell me, when you select barrels, how is that process? Let me know that process. So like, you go up and like, hey, Jim Bean, I want to buy your barrels, or you don't have to tell me the name that you get it from. I just want that process. What is it like?
As of right now, being as small as I am, I rely a lot on my master distiller.
Okay.
He does most of the barrel selections and stuff like that as far as purchasing. And then so he'll tell me like, hey, we got 20 of these, 20 of that, 20 of this, and basically he'll fill them, and when it's time to open up an añejo or an extra añejo, I kind of let him know like, hey, we're gonna have to bottle soon. Let the CRT know that we're gonna open barrels, and then they'll get the approval to open barrels, and we'll open 30, 40 barrels. And
So
we're just
as a tequila owner, you're saying, so let me repeat to you what I think that I heard.
Okay.
As a tequila owner, you're saying that the barrel purchasing is done by the actual distillery or the actual master distiller?
So my master distiller does as of right now, because I can't afford the barrels, if you will.
No, and I appreciate that. I'm not asking that part, but
just so it's like I it's a lot of faith in them, and having them know that I know that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so they take care of it. The distillery purchases barrels separately.
Okay.
It's actually kind of interesting. The distillery that I'm with, 1545 Capellanía, has 3 master distillers that make 3 very different products. So it's kind of they take kind of turns. Like, hey, I'm gonna do, like, they do their lot, clean everything out. Then the next guy goes in, does their lot, clean everything out, and then and that's kind of how they rotate that way. So my master distiller has his warehouse, and they have their barrels that they like and they use, and kind of and I get to select from.
Let me touch on that a few seconds, because I like what you just said, because you know what? That didn't dawn on me until just this very second. So yeah, I know. I literally am like OCD, like
He's usually slow to the conversation. We know.
I apologize.
Slow to the party.
So you just said, because like we see this a lot. So I'll read off from Tequila Matchmaker, like, okay, this is coming from Nam, 1123, and they've got 7 different tequilas that are made from there. So what you're telling us is that all of them use the same exact equipment, but they do it according to what you're asking them to do, or what the master distiller is saying.
Right.
But it's still the same equipment, so like if I go to El Pendio and say, I want to make a tequila with you, you're good, but I want you to make it low pressure, or I want you to put that in high pressure, or you know what I mean.
Yeah. So generally speaking, I can't speak for other distilleries because I don't know exactly how they work.
Mm-hmm.
But some distilleries only have the one master distiller. But mine so happens to have three. And that's just the way that they agreed to work.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny because the first time I went to the distillery, I met with the owner of the distillery, and he has his master distiller. And I tried the stuff, I tried the product and all that, and it was good. It wasn't my favorite. And then I went I went back, and then I emailed on Facebook group and like, hey, gonna go down there again to try some more distilleries. And then the Davalos brothers like messaged me, hey, stop by the distillery, we'll give you some stuff to try and all that. And then I was sure, and it was a different location, so I had no idea, because the way the distillery, the Capellania is they have their bottling and their warehousing in town, and then the distillery is like in a farm. So I the first time I went to the bottling area, and then the second time I went to the distillery, and I and I was like, this is fantastic. let's go, let's go in. And then I realized later that it was the same distillery, just different juices, which is like very interesting to me. And so yeah, so the three distillers buy their own agaves, they do their own processes, they do everything separately, so it does come out. So if you look on Tequila Matchmaker, and you go to the distillery and you see the brands, some brands have really good scores, and then some brands have terrible scores, and you're like, how does that happen? That's how that happens. It's a very different. But I can't speak for other distilleries.
I don't buy nothing unless it's 80 and above.
Well, there you go. Ooh,
So if you had to take your brand and recommend one bottle, I only get to recommend one to all of our viewers, which one would you recommend?
Oh boy.
That's a tough one. Oh my god! Like, which one of my children do you want me to say?
So I get asked that question a lot, not in that way, but I do get asked like, "Hey, what's your favorite?" And then my response is always like, "Oh, my favorite is the one that you like."
I love
That's difficult because I don't like a lot of them. So now you have to have an answer.
For your fans, I'll recommend the añejo, and then for reposado or the plata, and that's just kind of
I guess, what one is your personal favorite? Because I mean, I get totally different flavors than what he does as well. But what is your favorite one? Your go-to? I guess. All right. So we did this thing a couple months ago. Like, what's your everyday? What's your gift? And what's your mixing tequila type thing? If you were to pick out of these? What would you say?
The way I do it is plata. It's with friends, having a good time, hot day. Maybe mixing a little bit. Sparkling water and some lime, maybe. Ranch waters, if you will, or
I
a
was just
paloma.
gonna say good ranch water.
And then the reposado, I do old fashions with it. To my whiskey friends. And that's also kind of just so it is mixing, and that's more sharing. The añejo I gift a lot, just because it's something special, and the extra añejo I share a lot, but I don't gift it.
So if you were to be on a date,
Okay,
what would be your date selection?
so if I were on a date, I would ask my date if they were gin vodka people or whiskey bourbon people, and then I would select from there.
And so obviously, again, follow that up. The
Yeah.
whiskey.
So
Which one is the whiskey? Which one is the gin vodka?
Gin
You want-
vodka would be Plata.
vodka gin people, I would recommend either the plata or the reposado for those
Okay.
herbs.
All right. Darn it, I had a follow-up question before that, before your question, and I was going to say, um, because I'm really intrigued. Oh, okay, now I remember. What? Because I know that you said you trust your master distiller to make this amazing tequila. At what level of input or collaboration do you have, or do you just say, I want to have a tequila company and make me a blanco repo?
So initially, the way that we work is he makes what he makes like his home blanco or plata.
Mhm.
This is what I make. And then the option goes, do you want to use a different water source? Whether it be deep water well, stream, however you want to. I know some brands use rain. We don't. That wasn't an option.
El
And
Pendio does that. G4, they totally are like, let's do this, and they're like trying to be all like Frankenstein.
I think that's awesome.
I do too.
And then the next option would be like, all right, this is the yeast we use. And then they kind of go through that process with me, and then like, all right, or we could do, we could buy yeast, we could do champagne yeast, we could do, and they kind of brought out like the list of different yeasts and what that imparts in flavors.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then the third variance would be, alcohol level. Like, at what level do you want it? 55 or 40? And then we kind of play with that and those flavors that imparts. And then the last one would be oak. What barrels? Because the distillery does have reposados that is not pipon. They have standard reposado barrels and
Right.
different, or they have like French oak barrels that I've used once for the añejo, and so on. So that's like basically the last kind of option of variants that you could do, and it leads to the final product.
Well, thank you for that, because I've often wondered, and if I'm thinking it, I'm sure that somebody out there in our audience is also thinking it.
Right.
Any other good, awesome stuff?
I
What else? What's next? What's next for you? Are you going to just keep trucking at it, or are you thinking that you want to start something within the brand, that you want to try a trend or something?
So again, trucking along. I am gonna work on making a 700 ml.
Okay.
For the añejo and the extra añejo only. I'm working on some special edition like ceramic bottles that are really cool. Some like dog ones.
Oh my god, that'd be cool.
But it'll be like maybe like a once a year anniversary kind of thing. Here's 100 bottles, and
That is becoming more and more popular. You look at G4; they just I hate to keep referencing them, but they're one of the big names. They just came out with their Das Mortes one, with the big coffin that has their Madeira that they made into a reposado.
right.
And I appreciate when they do stuff like that, because a collector's bottle, a something, a show
fair bottle, right?
Right.
I think that's cool.
And then just to add to the lineup, I'm gonna come up with a Joven within the next couple months.
There's
And
not many people that are doing a Hoven right now.
yeah, well,
Very
I'm gonna jump on that wagon a little early, and it's gonna come out at 48%, so it's gonna be a little higher than my standard.
Yes, please.
But I'm gonna challenge you. If you're gonna jump on that, you have to bring the best game you can. It's gotta be better than what you're presenting here.
Oh, come on.
Hopefully you like it, but if you don't like it, that's all right. You can drink something else.
Hey,
yes,
hey,
thank you.
That's
thank you,
okay.
thank you.
I
Yes.
will take me Henta any day. She is absolutely amazing.
No, but I appreciate that. No, I really want you to keep pushing forward and pushing the envelope. I like that you're going to do a Hoven at 48% because again, like I just said, there's not many people that are doing Hoven. You've got like Siembre Valleys or Siembre Azul has that. Hoven. There's not very many. I've only got like 3. I think there's a couple of companies that are doing it.
Yeah, so the goal is to keep getting better lot by lot, and maybe you didn't like lot 1 through 5, but lot 6 and 7 is going to be your jam, and you're like, I better stock up because he might not.
Exactly, it's very possible.
But that's true,
and that's what is unique about tequila in general is we've got 3 lots represented here, and your añejo, you've told us is a different lot, but it's also bringing amazing flavors. So you're right.
We just had that conversation. We literally just had that conversation about the lot 1 versus lot 2 from G4 Madeira.
Correct.
I love lot 1. Lot 2 was not that. It's good, but it's not as good as lot 1.
Well, and you could make the same argument with the Lagrunas.
Lot 1 was not the best, but
I
actually
like
right.
Lot 2.
It's just kind of goes to the good tequila and to pay attention to lots, and then if you like a certain lot, buy it, because I mean, especially for me, all my lots are 200 bottles, 300 bottles, 200 bottles, 100 bottles.
I did notice. I made mention that on the video before. Like, I love that this is a small organization.
Yeah, so I split it with my life savings, like I said earlier, and I bottled what I could afford, and every lot is growing little by little, but it's an extra 20 bottles or an extra 10 bottles and so on. But with the Hoven coming out, I think it'll be a nice addition to this whole to this family. At a little higher proof would be a little even better.
I want to get that extra añejo. I've got to try it now.
What I love though is with the smaller lots, especially, you stay relevant to the tequila game. And so I will give my hats off to that, because you aren't just going with, 600 bottles of this one and then, waiting for that to, kind of die down. You are increasing and trying and changing your recipe slowly but surely. And that is huge for a company moving forward, because, in 5-10 years, you're still going to be a brand that is out there competing against Fortaleza or Mi Genta or Don Fulano, but big names.
Those are big names, but they're still not anywhere near the huge organizations that are like the Patrons. Correct. Or the Don. I would rather support your company than any of this massive mega corporation like the who the heck was it? What was the name of that corporation that bought the Casamigos? They own like 8 or 9 different companies down there, and I can't stand it. It starts with an M. Either way, I'd rather support you because you're a small organization.
Thank you.
And that means a lot to me. I've always been a mom and pop type person.
That explains why you hate your job. More than you know.
That's not true. I don't want to get fired. Stop. I do. I appreciate more the mom and pop organization than I do a major corporation when it comes to something like this, because like you just said, you're putting your life savings into this. You're taking a step. You're taking a risk on hoping that your children are going to be liked and loved by others. And I appreciate that. My hat's off to you. And I appreciate that you're getting into the business and doing something you're passionate about, and that you want other people to also be passionate about.
Right.
So,
cool.
So your brand isn't really nationwide yet. What are your plans on making that happen? Because we have people all over the world that watch us, which thank you guys. If you haven't hit the like and the subscribe, please make sure you do that. I know we are a bit into this video, but please make sure you do that. But you know, that is the big thing. You know, we've got people in Africa, we got people in South America, all over the world that literally watch us. How, you know,
Which is
you're in
weird.
California and you know, we have tricks on getting alcohol and these spirits so that we can, you know, share them with the world. What is
Right.
your plan to make this so I can get this in my backyard?
So as of right now, we are in California, obviously, Florida, Michigan, where you guys are, Tennessee, and Georgia, and then like brand new, Texas, Nevada, and Arizona.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we're work in
I'll
progress.
be honest with you. The next you should check into
Kansas. He
Illinois,
needs to hit
Kansas
Kansas
and
up.
Illinois. You
Yeah.
would, out of all places, you would never think Kansas.
So
Kansas is huge.
and this is the reason I say that. And I know he watches our videos. So Steve J. Agave is amazing in Kansas. And he would be a great connection because he does work with several other importers to make sure that, you know, the tequila does come there. But they are huge there in tequila, but they want the best. And so hats off to you that we are recommending you to
please.
another state that has the same kind of difficult competition as I am as your audience. You know,
Yeah.
Chicago has got a massive tequila organization going on there.
Right.
I would definitely recommend that.
I would be everywhere, right? But
Well, yeah, you're small. You can only afford. I get that. You got to make sure that you can produce. You know,
Right.
and that's kind of why Fortaleza is having an you know, an amazing experience right now. They're trying. They're literally working 24 hours a day now,
Yeah.
trying to support the massive demand.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would, if you can afford to get that many people going on board with you, I would recommend getting into Illinois and Kansas.
Yeah, I mean that
Weird
obviously
Kansas.
the goal is you know, the goal would be to be available, you know, even if it's not at your state, your neighboring state, maybe, you know, you could just have somebody send you a bottle. So the goal is to be as reachable to as possible. But again, I the goal is to be, you know, an overnight success in about 10 years. It's just that's the goal.
I do want to say, you know, welcome to the Sip, Savor, and Celebrate family. I know that we can be, you know, a hard audience to you know, make happy, but at the same point,
hard ass. Sorry.
But at the same point, you know, I do think that we are both sides of our viewers completely. You know, I get a lot of responses that, you know, are like, hey, keep it up. And then you've got a lot of responses over there that are like, hey, you know, we're softies like you know, we like everyone.
Wow. I'm thinking of a number. You're number one. You're number.
But you know, so we do hope that you do keep us in the loop as you continue to grow. Just like, you know, some of our friends over at
Rico
or
Tequila Tao and TC Craft, and you know, we appreciate you taking your time, and I'm sorry for going so long at this, but I enjoyed talking with you. You've been so much fun to talk with, and thank you very, 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 very much for coming on our little channel over here to share with the rest of the world what we're all thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys taking the time and, you know, meeting on a Saturday, and then buying the bottles. You know, that I mean, every little purchase helps me a lot, especially in states where I can't physically be and push it and, you know, do all that. And again, if you guys do any other shows or events, or I know on the review you were saying something about a restaurant tasting and all that stuff.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like that ever comes up and, you know, you want Xolo to be a part of it, I would, you know, talk to my distributor out there and we could, you know, try to figure
I'll
something.
hold you to that. I'll let you know.
So we were invited to Arizona the beginning of December for the tequila conference going on out there with Bahariba.
Oh yeah, Rico. He's awesome. Rico
and so
awesome.
That is on our radar as well. So So maybe we can run into you there if that's something on your guys' radar as well.
But
Def-
I think more along the lines of like January, February, we might be doing another one of the tasting. So like I don't know if you're we'll talk later. We'll talk later. Keep me in touch, okay? Keep texting me. Maybe I would love to have you here in Michigan to represent, because I'm telling you what, I think it would be so cool to have somebody that's involved with a company and just representing like, hey, this is me. This is
right.
what I'm putting all of my effort in. I might not be as huge as these other people, but I'm honest about what I want. I'm honest about what I have. And please give me a shot.
Yeah,
Does that make
exactly.
sense?
I tell people that all the time. Like that's kind of my spiel. And then I tell them, like, if in 10 years, like I said, overnight success, you'll be able to say, I had the owner on my podcast, when he was very first starting, and he's a cool guy. Now he doesn't talk to me because he's super rich and famous, but
Right.
Well, hopefully we'll grow up to the same and be
Yes.
rich and famous together.
Oh, good God, that would be nice.
right.
But
So again,
yeah,
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Always appreciate an honest review, because honest reviews make me better. It's kind of gives me room for improvement. So I'll take a lot of what you guys said into consideration, and hopefully lot 6 or lot 5 that you don't have over there will be
yeah,
your
we got the ground level here,
We'll find it, I'm
I
sure.
honestly, because I saw another YouTuber post a review about you. That's why I wanted to have it.
Mhm.
And when I was at one of my favorite liquor stores in Saginaw, which is just south of us, I saw it on there. They have like a little room of, in their little room is the high end stuff.
Okay.
So your stuff is in their high end. I saw it there and I'm like, holy crap, he's actually got Xolo. I've
Yeah.
got to get that. And it literally was 2 months that I've been like, oh my God, I got to get 300 and some odd dollars together so I can get this. And I want it on my channel. I want it on the channel. And when I finally got one of my bonuses, I went and bought it. You know,
Mhm.
like you, I use my life savings to start this channel.
Yeah.
And trust me, I'm getting yelled at all the time about it. Okay. But I saw it, I had to have it, and I got it. I couldn't afford the extra Neho, but I ended up getting the base. I
Right.
call this my base.
That's a solid taste right there, I think.
Right, right. So that's what I had to get in, and I'm enjoying it. I enjoy what we do. I'm having a great time. Devin's one of my bestest friends, and that's what we're out here. That's what we're trying to do. Is just have fun, talk to people, tell you what we think about it, because maybe somebody out there can't get this,
Right.
or maybe they've been thinking like, well, God, that's $150 for that Anejo. Is it really worth $150? And that's what we're trying to say is
Right.
like, this is what I get. If you don't like these type of things, don't buy it. But if you love these things, you better get out and get you some.
Right. Especially with the lots being so small, because they might not happen again.
So true. So true. Look at the extra Neho from Ana Maria over at Mihenta. She just came out with her
The second batch. I know,
The
I'm
second
like,
batch of the
ooh.
extra Anejo. Oh God, it's $200, but man, it's so good.
It is different, and that's what I love about it. She uses Hungarian, she uses cherry, she uses French oak, which is not anything any of the other distillers, anyone in this room,
Nobody
is not using it. And what I say earlier, the ones that are unique are the ones that get my attention.
Yep.
I'll keep working on it, and then I'm gonna make you
Got this. You got this. Well, you made me proud. I love it.
Hey.
I do love it. I do love it.
you know, this is not one that I am turning down. There have been a couple on record that I have said don't. It's a waste of your money. So you know what? I do give my hats off to you because I'm still recommending one.
Yeah,
You
cool.
won 1 and 3. I would love the XA, and so we might work on getting that to see, you know,
Yes.
what we think of it as well. But yeah, you know, and
All
then high proof
You might think about
or
that.
that Hoven, you know,
Who knows? Who knows?
we'll be waiting.
So, in closing, I want to say thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate you taking your time out in a Saturday. To you, it's Saturday afternoon. It's dark here. It's literally dark 30 right now. So we're gonna go get dinner, and I want you to know that we appreciate you. Thank you for making a great. To me, I think it's a great experience. I love that it's a 1 liter because, like you said, you get to share it with all your friends.
Mhm.
And I appreciate you. I can't wait to see what else you come out with. I gotta try and get that XA, and I can't wait for the Hoven.
Thank
And
you.
we look forward to follow up. You got something new and want to drop it with us exclusively? Hey, you know how to get a hold of us.
Go. I'll make sure to message you guys on the next one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. You have
Yeah.
yourself a wonderful evening, and
Yeah.
thank you again.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Let's see here.